new ideas about farming. Because the people of America have some new ideas about eating. And the food you want is the food we produce. Food that's leaner, lower in salt, healthier. From the farmers who own farmland. Better farming, better food.
After 38 years, I wonder if he still likes it. Are you kidding? He loves it. Happy 38th anniversary, Dad.
Warner Stellian has marked down every Magic Chef to unbeatable 38th anniversary prices now for a limited time. The Magic Chef you've been dreaming of will never be this affordable again. Experience the service these metro area born and raised appliance specialists are proud to offer. But you'd better hurry. Anniversary specials like these only come up once a year.
Don't miss Carol Lawrence on the next Live with Regis and Kathy Lee.
MacGyver will not be seen tonight, but will be broadcast in its entirety Saturday at 10:30 p.m. on Channel 5.
Now stay with Channel 5 for the following special presentation. A World of Difference is a joint project sponsored by the Anti-Defamation League, the Jewish Community Relations Council, the Minnesota Coalition to Celebrate Our Differences, the Timberwolves Foundation, the St. Paul Pioneer Press, and KSTP Channel 5.
Tonight, you will witness prejudice unfold as people come eye to eye with racism.
Good morning. I'm Jane Elliott. I'm your resident bitch for the day. Is that too difficult for you to understand?
No.
Good. Sit down and shut up. I don't care what you prefer. This is not about what you prefer. I would advise you to get competent real fast. Get out here and sit down or leave. And I don't care which you do, but you are not going to keep this workshop from happening. I want these nice, blue-eyed white people who are all absolutely certain that they are not racist to be on the receiving end of the kind of treatment that they allow others to live with for a lifetime.
What started as a classroom exercise in 1968 will be experienced by adults to make them understand the anatomy of prejudice. I'm Mark Sapelsa, welcoming you to our first A World of Difference program. Throughout the next year, Channel 5 Eyewitness News will devote numerous hours of news and programming to the issue of racism. This is our first step toward making a world of difference, the necessary step to recognize and celebrate our diversity. You're about to see powerful television. The language is harsh. The participants, at times, awkward. But the results are dramatic as we all come eye to eye with racism.
Eye to Eye is brought to you by the local Catholic Communication Campaign. Good communication builds a good community. By National College, where culture and education come together. And by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We build excitement.
In the 90s, conservatism will be dominant.
Lighten up.
Fun will become the exclusive province of the rich.
With a Pontiac Sunbird, you can afford fun. It gets great mileage, and Sunbird doesn't cost a lot either.
The market for exciting things will be quite bearish.
Bullish. You could have it all in a Sunbird. We build excitement.
MDRNICUORERPDQ DPT EKG HR
ETC
IBPC BP ASAP MRI EEG CXR
PED.
We can't possibly show you all the ways med centers can improve your health, but that was an abbreviated list. Med centers.
What kind of things do your parents tell you?
Take out the garbage.
2 wrongs don't make a right.
Mow the lawn. Do the dishes.
Be home by 10:30.
Clean up my room.
Clean my room.
Clean my room.
What do your parents tell you about sex?
Well.
Some people say that today's kids are confused about sex. Ever wonder why?
The following 30 seconds is brought to you by the students at National College.
I really like the way that you can go in and you know people, and people know you, and the teachers are very personable, and they make time for you.
I needed some real tutoring, and I found the instructors extremely helpful in that area. And the idea that they also had been out in the workforce and knew that you lose some of those skills and that they'll help you brush up on them again.
National College, fall quarter starts September 4th. Call now for class information. Remember, parking is free.
Fabulous park.
Recently, 43 Minnesotans from various backgrounds came to KSTP for a volunteer seminar. They were not given much information, only that it would be a prejudice reduction workshop. They are about to undergo the same exercise that was designed 22 years ago in Riceville, Iowa. This footage from 1971 will take us into the third grade classroom of Jane Elliott, the teacher who originally designed the experiment.
This is a special week. Does anybody know what it is? National Brotherhood. National Brotherhood Week. What's brotherhood?
Be kind.
Okay, be kind to your brothers. It might be interesting to judge people today by the color of their eyes. Would you like to try this?
Yeah.
Sounds like fun, doesn't it? Since I'm the teacher and I have blue eyes, I think maybe the blue-eyed people should be on top the first day.
And up here?
Oh, yes, they are. This is a fact. Blue-eyed people are better than brown-eyed people. The brown-eyed people do not get to use the drinking fountain. You'll have to use the paper cups. You brown-eyed people are not to play with the blue-eyed people on the playground. The brown-eyed people in this room today are going to wear collars so that we can tell from a distance what color your eyes are.
And it seemed like when we were down on...
You call him brown eyes?
They always call us that. Craig and all of the, they keep calling us brown eyes. They say, come here, brown eyes. And they were calling us blue eyes. I wasn't. Sandy and Donna were. Yeah.
What's wrong with being called brown eyes?
Oh, that's just the same way as other people calling black people niggers.
I was thinking, I have unleashed a tiger here. I have done a terrible thing. What have I done? I was frightened and I was appalled and I didn't like them. I didn't like the blue-eyed children that day. And they didn't like one another and they hated the brown-eyed children. And the brown-eyed children had nothing but contempt for them. They were totally contemptible of their blue-eyed peers because they were inferior. It was absolutely amazing. I learned more about human nature than I wanted to know that day. And these were 9-year-old children. Yesterday, I told you that brown-eyed people aren't as good as blue-eyed people. That wasn't true. I lied to you yesterday. The truth is that brown-eyed people are better than blue-eyed people. The brown-eyed people may take off their collars, and each of you may put your collar on a blue-eyed person. The brown-eyed people get 5 extra minutes of recess. You blue-eyed people are not allowed to be on the playground equipment at any time. You blue-eyed people are not to play with the brown-eyed people. Brown-eyed people are better than blue-eyed people. They're smarter than blue-eyed people. And if you don't believe it, look at Brian. Do blue-eyed people know how to sit in a chair? Very sad. Very, very sad. It took less than 15 minutes for my brown-eyed children to become belligerent, condescending, arrogant, vicious, dehumanizing people. Less than 15 minutes. It was almost instantaneous. And it took less than 15 minutes for my blue-eyed children to live down to our expectations of them. I was absolutely amazed at how quickly they became how quickly they took on the roles that I assigned to them. And they were not role-playing. They became what I accused them of being immediately.
Okay, you want to be timed this morning?
Yeah. A.
I use Orton Gillingham Phonics. We use the card pack. And the children, the brown-eyed children, were in the low class the first day, and it took them 5.5 minutes to get through the card pack. The second day, it took them 2.5 minutes. The only thing that had changed was the fact that now they were superior people.
I thought you were going to get in the
You went faster than I've ever had anyone go through the card pack. Why couldn't you get them yesterday?
We had those collars on.
You think the collars kept you?
You just keep thinking about those collars.
Oh. What did you people who are wearing blue collars now find out today?
Oh, yes. I know what they felt like yesterday.
I did too. How did they feel yesterday?
Down. Like a dog on a leash. Yeah.
Let's take these collars off.
Hey, don't stick yourself now. No, you'd have to sort.
Here, Mr. Valley, you can. What would you like to do with them?
Throw them away.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
This was the third time Jane Elliott had taught her lesson in discrimination. The original lesson was introduced into her classroom in April of 1968.
The day after Martin Luther King was killed, I had to explain his death to third graders in an all-white, all-Christian community in Iowa. 1,000 non-racist, non-sexist, non-ageist souls who didn't understand the first thing about what racism is all about. I had no way to explain it to them. I had tried explaining, and explaining didn't work. So that day, we were to learn the Sioux Indian prayer that says, "O great Spirit, keep me from ever judging a man until I've walked a mile in his moccasins." And I decided to give my students the opportunity to walk in the moccasins of someone who is other than white in this society.
How do adults react when they are exposed to this same exercise? Our participants are about to find out as they come eye to eye with racism.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies, charming, disarming, whatever they do. Everybody knows that milk's for babies. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, a bright baby smile, and ooh, great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. It's a health kick, baby.
You may like the way you look when you smoke, but have you ever stopped to think how you look to others?
Yellow tooth.
Just stinks.
Disgusting.
Ew, gross. Oh, man, it stinks.
Sewer breath.
Yuck. Smells like a butt. Looks just slimy and gross. I just can't stand to be near it.
For the largest selection of carpet and linoleum, for the lowest prices, better see C-Stats. C-Stats is Minnesota's oldest name in floor covering and carries all major brands of carpet and linoleum. Browse through C-Stats' walls and walls of carpet and linoleum with thousands of colors and styles to choose from. Better yet, C-Stats also has thousands of remnants at an amazing 40 to 80% off all year round. For the largest selection of flooring at the lowest prices, better see C-Stats, 1.5 blocks east of Gaultier Plaza in Lower Town, St. Paul.
The 43 participants entered our building at 7:35 a.m. for their first encounter with Jane Elliott. The tone of the workshop was instantly established.
Come up here and sign in according to eye color. Now.
What did she say? I'm looking for you.
Come around and sign in here according to eye color. That door right there. Go through that door right there.
At this point, 3 minutes into registration, one person threw his name tag on the floor and walked out.
You know the blue-eyed boy who left?
No.
You have any idea who he was? The one who wadded up his thing and threw it in the air? It's on the floor there.
No, I don't know.
Right.
The groups were separated into two, the brown-eyed and the blue-eyed.
That's the way you always sign your name? Well, nobody can ever read it then, huh? Sit down.
What do you want me to do?
Did anybody else hear what I told her to do?
The blue-eyed people were collared for quick identification and sent to stand in the hallway.
Go out there and stand with the rest of the blue-eyed people.
I think I'm gonna go home.
Is anybody gonna miss that one?
After the groups were divided into two, The brown-eyed group entered a comfortable studio with breakfast awaiting them. This was not the plan for the blue-eyed group.
Take these people where they belong.
Follow me.
They were let out the back door to another studio, where they would spend an hour waiting in this cold room. It had few chairs, little light, restricted bathroom facilities, and nothing to eat or drink. While they were getting acclimated to these uncomfortable surroundings, the brown-eyed group was getting briefed as to what would take place in this workshop.
Good morning, I'm Jane Elliott. I'm your resident bitch for the day. There are two kinds of women in the world, bitches and abdicators. Abdicators are the ones who say, I can't do a thing about it, I just have to take it. I'll have my rewards in heaven. Bitches are the ones who say, I'm tired of this, I'm not going to put up with it, I am not going to take it anymore. Now, you have your choice which one you want to be. I have chosen to be a bitch. You have to do that to do what I do. What I do is put people through an exercise in discrimination based on eye color in order to give nice blue-eyed white folks the opportunity to walk in another man's shoes for a couple of hours. The blue-eyed people are in a holding room with no coffee, which bothers them right away. They aren't supposed to be smoking in there. There are few chairs, it's cold, and there's no television for them to watch.
How about something to eat?
I felt for sure that they would be treated, that we'd get some coffee here.
We could pretend we like this.
Aerobics.
We need aerobics. I was hoping it'd be dark and cold here.
And I do not want you to take this as a game. And I do not want you to take this as a role play. I want you to see these blue-eyed people as inferior.
I felt like I've been treated like this a million times, left in the dark or set off to the side. Or
Maybe we should stop analyzing it and play charades or something.
What I want to happen today is I want these nice blue-eyed white people who are all absolutely certain that they are not racist to be on the receiving end of the kind of treatment that they allow others to live with for a lifetime.
We're intelligent, sensitive people. They never asked what our feelings were about prejudice. So if this is, maybe we already felt that it was wrong, and if this is their way of making us aware of how it is.
Today, we are going to do what society has done in the United States of America for over 400 years. We are going to pick out a group of people on the basis of a physical characteristic over which they have absolutely no control. Today, it's going to be eye color. Traditionally, in this country, it has been skin color. Today, it is going to be eye color. We are going to assign negative characteristics to the people on the basis of that physical characteristic. In other words, we're going to do what we have done with people of color. We're going to say about these people the kinds of things that you have heard about people of color.
In essence, we're really being ignored.
Right.
Is this what you're saying?
Right.
And being sort of set out here, and that makes us kind of angry. Our time is being wasted, and so on. There's nothing much to do.
Eye color is caused by the same color that skin color is. People who evolved at or near the equator needed lots and lots of melanin in their skin to protect their cells from the damaging rays of the sun. That's why black people are black, because their bodies produced a lot of melanin to protect their cells from the damaging rays of the sun. As they moved farther and farther from the equator, they needed less and less melanin. They were exposed to less and less sunlight, so their eyes, their skin, and their hair got lighter. That's where the color of man comes from, people.
So I'm feeling like I'm a sacrifice here. I'm sacrificing this day in the hopes that something positive will come out of it on the other side.
Now, today we're going to judge these people by their eye color because as people's skin and hair got lighter, it didn't have a bad effect on their brains. But as their eyes got lighter, it allowed more and more sunlight to enter their eyes. It pierced their brain cells and damaged their brains, and that's why blue-eyed people aren't as smart as brown-eyed people. Why are you laughing?
I just thought it was rather funny.
You think it's rather funny. Now, you think it's funny to hear somebody stand up and say, too much sunlight will damage your brains. You laugh at that, but you haven't laughed all your lives at the idea that having light skin made you superior. It is equally ridiculous.
I do feel as though I deserve better than this. Right. Now, and I guess the rest of you feel that way too.
Yes. Right now, we're making the choice to stay here. Nobody's making us stay here. We can all walk out that door.
We've already had one blue-eyed white male, when he found out that we were judging him by his eye color, crumple up his name tag. Did you see him?
I saw him.
Throw it in the air and leave immediately. That white blue-eyed male has a freedom that people of color do not have. He has the freedom not to put up with it even for 2 hours. People of color do not have the freedom to choose not to put up with it. If they want to live in this country, they better be prepared to put up with it.
Is there anything we can do about it?
Yes. We can all walk out that door. If we do it together, we have some control. If we do it separately, we're out. You know, and then we have the control to all say, okay, let's walk out the door where it's warm. We can talk out there.
I'm assuming there's a purpose for this, so I'm willing to wait around. If I didn't know what this workshop was on, this would seem odd and I'd leave. I'd feel like that way I was taking care of myself. But, I mean, I'm assuming that there's going to be an end to this.
We're going to say about these people the kinds of things that you have heard about people of color. Blue-eyed people aren't as smart as brown-eyed people, right? Right. They aren't as clean as brown-eyed people, right? Right. They aren't as civilized as brown-eyed people, right?
Right. But since you are uncomfortable with the situation, and since if we did act together, we could change the situation, why not do that anyway?
Are you sure of that? You know what, maybe as a group, let's all take our green thing off so we feel like we're, yeah. Now we kind of...
All right, hey,
Yeah,
let's do that. That's good. That's good.
Why can't we just all walk out where
if we're
it's
uncomfortable,
warm as a group?
Where
It's
is it
not
warm?
warm outside.
How will you have a workshop without this many people?
At this point, you know...
Okay, how many are angry?
Yeah, who's angry?
Raise your hand, please.
I'm interested why you didn't take your collar off.
Because none of you have really experienced prejudice.
How can you say that?
You don't know anything about me. Everyone experiences prejudice, and everyone has prejudices within them.
Well, you've rebelled, right? What are they going to do to you now?
No, I have mine too. I rebel constantly, though.
Huh?
I didn't do that to rebel. I did that to unify.
Sure you did. That's what it is.
We're moving into the other studio now. Follow me and be quiet.
I have this incredible urge to holler!
See? You never know what they're going to do you?
We're going to treat these people as though all the things that we're going to say about them are absolutely true. Within 15 minutes after they get in here, they are going to begin to act as we have accused them of being. And what you're going to find out is that you can force a person to live down to your expectations of him or her. No matter how old they are, you can force them to live down to your expectations of them. And that's what we're going to do with these people this morning. Why does it take these blue-eyed people this long to get in here? We've sent for them. Where are they?
They lost their way.
Come on, hurry up. Get in here. Where's your collar? Put it on. Wait a minute. Don't go any farther until you get that collar on. Either get the collar on, get the collar on, or get out. I don't care what you do, but you either get the collar on or you get out. Now, get this broad out of here. Go back and get dressed. Go back and come in properly dressed. Go back and come in properly dressed. Without the collars, you don't get in here.
Organize. Come on in, guys.
Yeah, come on in. It's part of the game. Let's just get the
Go back and get the collars on or don't come in. Go back and get the collars on or don't come in. Go back and get the collars on or don't come in. No, go back and get the collar on. Go get the collar on or don't come in.
People don't even know how to dress.
This person does not get in here without a collar on.
I think this is hilarious.
You either follow the rules that I set or you are not in this workshop, period. Now, which do you want to do? Are you going to follow the rules or are you going to leave? No, you're not, because that's not one of the rules. That's not following the rule. You either follow the rule or you leave. The rule is you wear your collar. Now, are you going to wear the collar or not? Then you are not going to do that. That's all there is to it. You're out of the workshop. This white, blue-eyed broad is accustomed to using power.
Why would I cooperate with this?
Why did you come here?
Real life.
Why did you come here?
Why did you come here? To prove a point, and this is what I'm doing. I'm proving a point. You shouldn't treat people like this. We were kept in a cold room. You're treating us different. If people have got to go against that kind of thing.
Okay, but the thing is, if we're talking about true prejudice, we wouldn't be able to take these off. So we wouldn't have that choice.
We wouldn't have a choice.
No, but this is the only thing distinguishing us from the rest of the group at this point.
Who we are today.
So we can't take this off.
You should be learning something about white people from the way she's behaving. I am embarrassed by her behavior because she came here ostensibly to learn something, to be involved in a workshop.
That is not what she came for. What she came for is, as she said, to make a point. This is what people of color should do if they want this stopped where they are concerned. People of color did this, and that's where she learned it. And people of color died for doing it. Now, I want her out of here. Now, if you're blue-eyed and white, it's easy to come in here and run your little demonstration because you see yourself as being under no risk whatsoever.
And we're all now. Guys, are we going to let that happen? Well, we don't have any control over this. The thing about civil disobedience is...
Now, don't give me civil disobedience crap. Get out here and sit down or leave. And I don't care which you do, but you are not going to keep this workshop from happening. Now, are you going to get out here and sit down, or are you going to leave? Those are the two choices you have, and those are the only choices. Now, make up your minds now.
Trouble don't come around my door, and trouble don't stop here no more. Trouble, go on and let me be. Trouble, set me free.
Thanks to the United Way, more than 500,000 people were helped out of trouble last year in the Twin Cities. Please, give what you can.
From the hills and villages of northern Italy come delicate, creamy-tasting sauces. And from the warm climes of southern Italy come hearty tomato sauces. Now all these pasta dishes with fresh-baked garlic rolls can come to you, but only if you come to Italy or Perkins Family Restaurants, whichever is more convenient.
The blue-eyed people did decide to stay, but they learned quickly that they would have to do things Jane's way.
Sit. Your chairs are color-coded. Get on them. Not in those chairs. Those are not for blue-eyed people. The way these blue-eyed people acted in here this morning is the way blue-eyed people behave. Blue-eyed people like to have power, and they like to use it the way they want to use it. Now, these collars are to be worn all the rest of this workshop. That pin is to be worn under your chin, and the collar is to be on straight. Get that collar on right. They were on right when I put them on you this morning. Get that collar on right. Where's the pin for that collar?
Don't have one.
He did have one. Where'd it go?
Threw it away.
He threw it away. Oh, and he's so... Listen to this, people. Listen to the pride with which he says, I threw it away. Now, is that real pride? You get a pin. Get that collar on and get a pin on it.
I'll just hold on to the pin.
No, you won't just hold on to the pin. Put the pin on the collar.
I prefer to hold on.
I don't care what you prefer. This is not about what you prefer. Either get the collar on right or get out. Now, people, that's the third blue-eyed person who has opted to leave rather than put up with the workshop. What are you doing? No, you're not sitting there. Now, people, that's the third blue-eyed person who has opted to leave. Now, I want you to think about what's happening. Blue-eyed people put in a position in which they are judged by the color of their eyes for even a few minutes. Can't take it. And so they choose to walk out.
Adios.
Sociologists and behaviorists tell us that one of the main differences between Anglos and brown-eyed people of the world is when brown-eyed people come into a new environment, they adjust their needs to fit the environment. When Anglos come into a new environment, they adjust the environment to fit their needs. Now, when these people came into this room, were these chairs all in 2 rows? Were the sides close together? Were the sides touching on these chairs? No. Yeah, they were. Oh, yeah, they were. Now, when this broad came in, what was the first thing she did? Pulled the chair, moved it so that she would be more comfortable.
Would you like us to move back?
Now, wait a minute. Would I like you? I wouldn't like you in any form whatsoever. Or
That's too bad.
doing anything whatsoever. I want that chair back where I had it, and I want it there now. Now what are we playing? This girl have an attitude problem? Yeah, this is an attitude. Make no mistake about that. Now, you blue-eyed people in the back, get up here and sit on the floor where you belong.
Could I ask you one thing, or say one thing?
Is that too difficult for you to understand?
No.
Good, sit down and shut up. Why does it take us this long to get these people settled?
They can't follow
Can't follow directions? Disorganized? They were going to organize. They were going to organize people. They can't even organize themselves to get into 2 rows. You people obviously don't know the listening skills. You know the physical aspects of the listening skills? Do you?
Partially.
Well, do you want to partially say them?
Concentration.
Concentration is not a physical thing, friend. You want to try again?
No, I just assumed not.
That's a good idea. You know the physical aspects of the listening skills?
I think I know another one.
Oh, good for you. What is it?
You would turn your body towards the person speaking.
Now that's a new one. Turn your body toward the person speaking. Well, if I go back here very often, that boy's going to be screwed into that chair, isn't he? He's going to be just spinning. Just like, he isn't even practicing it. He says his mother says, I'm back here, sonny. What are you going to do? Turn your body toward the person speaking. Is that going to take a bit of time? This is going to be a very moving experience for everyone.
I can't hear unless I do that.
Oh, wait a minute then. You are going to make a listening skill for all of us based on your disability. Do we all have his disability? No. No. Is he lumping everybody together? We will all be like him. That's the way he is, so that's the way we must all be, right? How many of you have to turn your body in order to hear what people are saying? I would suggest instead of turning your body, you turn up your hearing aid. Do you have one? Mm-hmm. Take out a piece of paper and a pencil. We're going to teach you people the listening skills. I want you to write exactly what I say, exactly as I say it. Number 1. Good listeners have quiet hands, feet, and mouths. Write this.
The group spent the next hour learning the listening skills. 4 simple sentences. Jane repeated them many times, and the blue-eyed people were told to write them down. Finally, they were quizzed on their retention of the listening skills and had to write them from memory.
Will all the blue-eyed people who have a total of 4 of the listening skills right, please stand. Now, there is one good one, isn't there? Sit. Those who got a total of 3 right, stand. You didn't hear me, I'll bet. Those of you who got a total of 3 right, stand. Those who got a total of 2 right, stand. Sit down. Those who got a total of 1 right, stand. 25%. Look how proud they are of it. Isn't that wonderful? Sit down. Those who got a total of none right, stand. Now, does it do us any good to try to teach these people? No. No. Blue-eyed people aren't as smart as brown-eyed people are. You have 5 minutes to take this test, you blue-eyed people. I'll give you 10 minutes. 10 minutes to take this test. Put an answer on the left-hand side.
The test Jane distributed is the Dove Counterbalance Intelligence Test. It consists of 26 multiple-choice questions dealing with the history and slang of non-white cultures. What the blue-eyed people didn't know at this point is that the brown-eyed people had already been given this test earlier that morning while the groups were separated. The brown-eyed people were also given half of the answers.
The point of this test is not to teach you about blacks. The point of this test is to teach these nice blue-eyed folks how it feels to be given a culturally biased test and have their IQs judged on their ability to pass this culturally biased test. Most of these blue-eyed folks won't know many of these answers because they don't know much about people of color. They don't know because they aren't compassionate, they don't care to learn, they aren't forced to learn, so why bother? All you have to know in this country, if you really want to succeed, is white culture. You brown-eyed people are going to know at least half of these answers because you are caring and compassionate and involved and curious and intelligent, and I'm going to give you the even-numbered answers. Now, people, this is not cheating. What we are doing is simply reinforcing our position of power. This is not cheating. This is what white people have done for 400 years in this country. It works beautifully. Any brown-eyed person need more time? We aren't going to wait for you, Louise. Give me your paper. What's Lloyd's score?
4.
I don't want his IQ, I want his score. 4. You got 4 right out of 26? Where's Lloyd?
Here.
Are you proud of that?
No.
Arnold, what's your score?
21.
21? Where's Arnold? That's very good for a white male. How'd you do that?
Predictably, the brown-eyed group scored high, while the blue-eyed group scored measurably lower.
How many of you people of color think you could get through kindergarten without knowing more than 2 of the answers on a 26-item test? How many of you people of color can get through a day without knowing all about white culture in this country? The only culture you need to know about in this country, up to the present time, has been white. Now, people, we turned what are fairly intelligent, educated, accomplished adult human beings into people who look like children in the space of a couple of hours, simply by judging you on the basis of a physical characteristic over which you have no control. We put you in a position where you are forced to live down to our expectations of you, and you live down to our expectations of you. Why couldn't you learn those listening skills? That's a perfectly simple task that any 9-year-old can do in 15 minutes flat. Why couldn't you people learn the listening skills?
It's pressure.
Pressure. You felt pressure.
Yeah.
And you kept telling us we couldn't.
And I kept telling you you couldn't.
Negative reinforcement.
And I reinforced what I was telling you. And I put you in a position where if you did, you were accused of cheating. And if you didn't, well, obviously you couldn't, because that's the way you are. What you are experiencing this morning may be new for you. It's nothing new for these people of color.
Tina Tavernier is a good example of why you don't have to be young to be productive. Her mind is as sharp as any youngster's. I don't want her to lose her Social Security just because she can still earn on her own. I'm working to phase that penalty out of the law entirely because our older citizens are a treasure, but they won't be if we keep them from having an active life.
Rudy Boschwitz and the people of Minnesota. Friends.
Lollipops! Licorice! Chocolate chip cookie!
Sweets. They're easy to cut down, but hard to cut out.
Cotton candy! Upside down cake!
That's one reason why Group Health was the first dental plan to cover the use of dental sealants, which help protect teeth from cavities.
Peppermint!
Because even if you can't stop kids from eating things that
Taste great!
they still can have.
Things!
Group Health, the intelligent choice.
Good evening, I'm Angela Storr. Tonight's program, Eye to Eye, is the kickoff of a very special year-long effort for Channel 5 called A World of Difference. A World of Difference is a public service project designed to promote a better understanding of racial, ethnic, and religious differences. For the next year, Channel 5 will dedicate news stories, personal profiles, and special programs such as the one you're watching tonight to help all of us better understand the cultural diversity of Minnesota. It's a commitment we're all very proud of. Together, we can make a world of difference.
You may take a short break. Where is lunch being served here? Oh, in the cafeteria. We'll tell you where to go. All right?
Are we invited also to lunch?
Did you ever? Now, would we keep you from eating? What kind of people do you think we are? We'll even let you sit beside us if you promise not to make a mess.
It was close to 5 hours before the blue-eyed group was able to take a break. Both groups came together for lunch. This was the first time either of them were away from the tension of the workshop, It was also their first opportunity to process what had happened to them that morning, an experience some later said would stay with them for a lifetime.
I learned that that I carry a lot of prejudice within me, that I, as hard as I try and as liberal or as progressive as I think I am, a lot of the things that were being said to the people in my group, especially to the women, were things that I was thinking. There was one woman who, she's young and was really made an example of by the instructor, was told, oh, you know, you've always gotten by being cute and pretty, but not here anymore. It's over.
Let me tell you about cute. She has used cute all her life. Look at this. This is cute if ever I saw it. I would advise you to get competent real fast. And I would advise you to quit trying to make a joke of this real fast. Because believe me, that Native American doesn't find racism funny. And he doesn't find your behavior funny. And that black female doesn't find racism funny. She can't make a joke out of it.
I couldn't figure out why Jane was so hard on me in the very beginning. I couldn't figure out what it was about myself. Was it my hair? Was it my pink jacket? Was it the fact that I was dressed differently than, for example, I am today? But afterwards, I realized that that's what she wanted me to think. She wanted me to second-guess myself. She wanted me to doubt myself. And that's exactly what I found out at this workshop we've been doing to people of color.
All of you are racist. I'm sure you think you aren't, but we are all racist. If you were born, raised, and educated, or have lived in this country for more than 2 years, you have learned how to be a racist. How many of you have ever heard this one? I'm not prejudiced, some of my best friends are black. What they're saying is, I got mine. See, I found one that's almost good enough to be white. But their next statement is, but they're different from the rest of them. This one's different from the rest of them. Have you heard that statement? Yes. Which says there's something wrong with the rest of them.
I realized how trapped the minority people feel if they grow up having to learn to deal with, that seems to be their whole life when they're little, is to learn to deal with white people or non-minority people. That's quite a struggle in itself.
People of color, you know how to act white. You would not be in the positions you are in today if you did not know how to act white. That is the message in this society. Act white and you too will succeed. Am I lying?
In this country, you have to think both African American and European American. I have to think about what they, meaning European Americans, are going to think at the same time how I'm feeling in split second.
Is that not what you teach your children? Act white. Take on the white culture. Behave as much like a white person as you can, and you too will be all right. I wish I were lying. Unfortunately, I'm not.
I didn't grow up in this country. And especially after the session we had, I'm glad I didn't, because of the, well, everything that which we're exposed to as a minority in this country.
Somebody has said racism is more subtle now than it used to be. Subtle is a nice way for saying more deceptive. We have learned how to do it in less identifiable ways, but it is nonetheless racism. And are the results the same? Even though it is more deceptive, are the results not the same? And does subtle racism hurt less than blatant racism?
I was with my kids, and we got out of the bus, and these three white guys were, you know, these guys were big, like 6 feet, over 6 feet, and they've been drinking, and they say something like, yeah, I got drunker than 10 Indians, you know. Those kinds of things you can't do anything about. I mean, you could say something, but it just makes the situation worse. There probably is times where it'd probably been better to say something to let the person realize what they did, but in some situations it's better not to say anything.
I happen to think there's an X factor in people of color that is not in those of us who are colorless, because they have been able to survive and succeed in this country in spite of all the obstacles we've put in their paths for over 400 years. And I want to know how they do it.
A lot of white people don't know that
even though they're not pro-racism, not being anti-racism is just as bad. I guess if you say, I'm not racist, but are living comfortably and not doing anything to stamp out racism, or just plain prejudice, then they're just as bad.
Some of you blue-eyed people are sitting there today thinking, I hope I never look to anybody the way she looks to me today. And I've got news for you. White folks, you look to people of color on a daily basis the way I look to you today. They judge us, not by what we say we are, but by the way we behave and by the things we allow to happen.
I know during the session, it was a big thing for me that I felt just really helpless in there because there were so many barrages of things coming at me and so fast and so hectic. And part of me was trying to keep up and there was no way I could. And it was just real, there was nothing I could do. And I actually gave up at one time and just said, forget it, I can't do this stuff.
The next time you hear about the high dropout rate among Hispanic, Black, Native American children, stop and think, wait just a minute. What was the environment like for those kids that made them take off and miss out on the thing that we recommend as being the thing that is most likely to lead you to success in this country, which is education? What was it that made them drop out? I doubt that any child drops out. I think we do not have dropouts. I think we have forced outs. I think we make the environment uncomfortable enough that those children leave because they can't stand the discomfort of the environment. We could keep them there by changing the environment. Make no mistake about that.
I had my purse snatched on a business trip. I was stranded. No cash, no plane ticket, no credit card, no ID. I called Citibank immediately.
I told her not to worry. With Citibank's Lost Wallet service, I could get her emergency cash, help replace her plane ticket, and get a new Citibank MasterCard to her in 24 hours.
Citibank helped me get home. And after a trip like mine, that's where I wanted to be.
Not just MasterCard, Citibank MasterCard.
At Dairy Queen, we've got a hot little sale going on two of our most popular treats, the Hot Fudge Brownie Delight and the Nutty Double Fudge. One comes with a brownie, the other's topped with hot butterscotch and nuts. And now they're each just $1.29. So come on in and get them while they're hot.
We treat you right.
Kohl's. Anniversary sale.
Lowest prices of the season.
Bugle Boy. Family Lee denim and sweaters.
Men's Levi's.
Lowest.
Entire stocks. Family shoes and outerwear.
Luggage, fine jewelry, and handbags.
Lowest. All Buster Brown. All telephones and window coverings.
All athletic shoes.
Entire stocks.
Little Cakes, Fisher Price, Play School, and plush toys.
Cherokee for junior, Mrs. Petites, and plus size.
All blank audio and videotapes.
Plus much more.
64 pages.
Lowest prices of the season.
This week.
Kohl's.
One month later, the participants were invited back for a reunion. Jane wanted to know if her lesson in racism made a lasting impression on their daily lives.
What we ask you here for is to find out whether you learn anything, what you learned, if you have used anything that you learned during the last month.
I feel so changed, even though I came into this feeling real stubborn that I didn't need to be any more sensitized. I thought I was so unprejudiced, but I just feel so changed, and I really have noticed that there's certain people I just can't continue to associate with.
You can't really pin down what it is that you take objection to, but you know that what they just said is wrong. But you don't know exactly how to prove to them that what they said was wrong. Anybody else noticed that? Has anybody else had that reaction?
A lot of my friends, I picked up on remarks a lot.
And what do you do about it?
That was hard. I didn't know how to respond to them. It was hard to communicate with them almost.
You may not change someone's attitude, but while they're around you, their behavior.
That's right, that's right. And if their behaviors are different around you, then they may begin to notice behaviors of other people that they used to exhibit that suddenly bother them.
right before we came in this morning, I was talking to another lady, and I believe it was her, who said something along the lines, I find myself having to choose my battles, as far as you run into situations and hear people say comments, and you have to choose your battles because some people you can change and there's some you can't.
That's right.
And you can burn out all your energy trying to change one person that ain't going to change.
That's right. And all they're going to do is end up calling you names.
Right.
And you're going to get a reputation, so you might as well just fight the battles you think you have some chance of winning.
Right.
And if you win one of those, that's better than fighting this one that you're never going to win. So don't waste your time, don't waste your energy.
But don't give up.
But don't give up.
You ended last time's session with a quote from the Talmud, which says it pretty good. It's not incumbent upon us to finish the job, but that doesn't release us from the responsibility of doing that much. And if we all did that much, pretty soon it would be like this.
Yeah. Oh, your hand was up.
This summer, my husband was placed on the heart transplant list at the University of Minnesota, and we were there at a support group meeting, and there was a black man who had received a transplant in the spring, and we were talking to him, and not only did he receive the heart of a white person, he received the heart of a white woman. I guess it sort of tells us we are all one.
Our parts are interchangeable. Isn't that marvelous? Somebody has said that every new experience creates a new reality. And I think you are not living in the same reality now that you were living in before you went through the exercise, unless I'm very mistaken. Because now things do not sound the same to you as they did before. Things are unacceptable before that would not have been unacceptable before. I hope that's what it did for most of you. I see this exercise as an inoculation against racism. You inject into a person the live virus of racism so that the next time they are exposed to racist behaviors and racist statements and racist programming, they will recognize it and they will say, at least to themselves, if not to those around them, that is racism and needs to be stopped. I will not tolerate that. And what we found out when we talked to these people who came back for the reunion today is that that very thing is happening to them. We injected them with the live virus of racism that day. They saw themselves in a new way, and they are now relating to others in a different way. And a young white male was one of the ones who said it had that effect on him. So the inoculation works.
And that inoculation has the potential to work for years. It did on Jane's original third-grade class that was also reunited 14 years later.
Is the learning worth the agony?
Yes.
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 It made everything a lot different than what it was. We was a lot better family altogether, even at our houses we was probably. Because it was hard on you when you have your best friend one day and then he's your enemy the next. It brings it out real quick in you.
Somewhere, sometime, someone needs to realize that it was never my intention to have this exercise get out of my classroom. I had no idea that it was as meaningful as it became, that it had the power that it has. I did not know. I should have known. I should have known that obviously treating people like this works or we wouldn't keep on doing it. But it was never my intention to have this get the publicity that it has had. It was strictly an exercise to teach my children something about themselves and the human condition. That's what the exercise was about. That's still what the exercise is about.
Eye to Eye is brought to you by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We build excitement. By National College, where culture and education come together. And by the local Catholic Communication Campaign. Good communication builds a good community.
In the 90s, conservatism will be dominant.
Lighten up.
Fun will become the exclusive province of the rich.
With a Pontiac Sunbird, you can afford fun. It gets great mileage, and Sunbird doesn't cost a lot either.
The market for exciting things will be quite bearish.
Bullish. You can have it all in a Sunbird.
Introducing new Edie's American Dream. It's deliciously smooth and creamy, but it's cholesterol-free. It's 99% fat-free, and it's made with pure, fresh ingredients. Best of all, it tastes like Edie's. So now you can have just what you've always wanted. More We call it New Edie's American Dream, but you can just ask for more.
What kind of things do you tell your kids?
Usually starts with clean up your room and take out the garbage.
Be careful.
Steady heart.
Do your chores. Quit belly aching.
And ends with clean up your room.
What do you tell them about sex?
Well, let's see.
Sex is... Some people say that today's kids are confused about sex. Ever wonder why?
The following 30 seconds is brought to you by the students at National College.
There are various hours with both classes being offered day and night, which makes it very convenient for single parents and older students.
Okay, being at National College first, you get a focus on the different cultures because it's a very international school. We have people from all over the world studying here. It's really nice.
National College. Fall quarter starts September 4th. Call now for class information. Remember, parking is free.
Fabulous park.
Tonight, you saw a recap of a 2-day, 10-hour workshop. There were 43 participants initially involved. 40 chose to stay. Most of these people claim it drastically changed their way of thinking, and as a result, has changed their lives. It's a start, but we all have to become active participants to wage the fight against racism. We must all come eye to eye with our own feelings of prejudice. It'll be the first step toward making a world of difference, a step we must all take together. We feel that tonight's presentation was an important message for everyone, a message we want many to experience. If you know someone who may have missed this opportunity, we'll rebroadcast this workshop that you just saw 2 times this coming weekend. First, on Saturday night, September 29th at 11:30 p.m. And again the next day, Sunday, September 30th at 4 in the afternoon. If you feel as strongly as we do that this is a message necessary for everyone, tell those that missed it tonight. All of us have the potential to change. All of us must take part in raising our next generation prejudice-free. Together, we can make a world of difference. I'm Mark Sapelsa. Good night.
Exercise, and I'm not proud of doing it. And I'm not proud of a society that makes it necessary that it be done. I want the necessity for it stopped.
This has been a World of Difference presentation. A World of Difference is a joint project sponsored by the Anti-Defamation League, the Jewish Community Relations Council, the Minnesota Coalition to Celebrate Our Differences, the Timberwolves Foundation, the St. Paul Pioneer Press, and KSTP Channel 5.
You need a good hot meal.
Don't forget your vegetables. Cut your meat before you eat.
A complete meal is